welcome to the latest edition of the National League Rugby Review Show. Now, so many fixtures in the first half of the year fell foul to the weather, and a lot of them were rearranged for this weekend. But as February gets underway, there's still plenty on the line. For the second week in a row, we're focusing on a basement battle, but this time it's in National 2 North as Harrogate entertain Blaydon. The division's bottom two have an uphill task ahead of them, but escaping the drop isn't impossible. Harrogate began the day 13 points from safety, but crucially have 2 games in hand over their nearest rivals, Preston Grasshoppers. As for Blaydon, they sat 16 points adrift with a game in hand and were targeting just their second win of the campaign. Who would have come out on top at Rudding Lane? So it'll be Sam Fox to get us underway here at Rudding Lane for Harrogate. What is in store over the next 80 minutes for both of these teams? And James Cooney making a good break here for Blaydon, hauled down well by Will Rawlinson. Dodds now with a lovely delicate kick through from the big man, and Ben Rabicek is going to be on the end of it. Rabicek kicks it forward and the winger dots down. Great start for Harrogate. And no problems from the tee from Rory McNabe, and it's 7-0 to the home side. Now Harrogate close to the Blaydon line. Otley flings the ball out, and now Fox has it in his hands, and there's Rawlinson, and McNabe's on his left hand side, and McNabe will score for Harrogate. And after a bit of Blaydon pressure, Harrogate are clinical. Harrogate looking dangerous again here. Fox hoists it high and Summersall and Ryder underneath it for Blaydon, but Rabicek's there, and it's opportunistic from Harrogate. Now McNabe for Harrogate, making small yards, making ground for the home side, and it's Fox into Rawlinson, out wide to Will Yates, and Will Yates will score, and that is the important bonus point try for Harrogate. Well, some of the spectators around me are very quick to remind me that is Harrogate's first try bonus point of the season, and the conversion's good as well. And what can Blaydon do now in this contest, really? On the halfway line now, can Sam Stewart's side find a foothold in this contest? But Harrogate immediately have the ball back once again, and they're looking to go wide here. There's an opportunity still on Will Yates. It's the man out wide, and it is still the winger. Here's Yates. Can he get away from Thompson? Thompson's hunting him down well. Yates with a step inside and back outside. Brilliant from Will Yates. It's his second try. And the extras from McNabe are once again good. Harrogate flying here at Rudding Lane. Harrogate looking lively again, and here's Harrison Walker, looks to throw the pass but breaks through the Blaydon defence. Brilliant run from Walker, looks for the offload, but good tackle from Blaydon. That was a fabulous break from Walker, and it's now Baxter, that's great hands from Harrogate, and they're looking to go left out wide again. It's Yates away from Summersall, and Yates with a hat-trick. Wonderful second half showing from Harrogate here. And whatever Martin Wood said to his side at half-time, they've been absolutely dominant, and he might put the icing on the cake here. McNabe with the kick through, and it's going to be Charles Buckley to seal the deal for Harrogate. And McNabe finishes things off, a massive 5 points in Harrogate's survival bid.
Obviously very pleased with 5 points at home. I thought Blaydon were going to be a tough test today, particularly, and I thought they were in patches, and they played for 80 minutes, and they did string some good performances together, I thought. But yeah, pleasing to get the win. Definitely areas to work on still for next week. Obviously, we're going to say that, but penalty count was probably our own unforced errors. But apart from that, we were quite clinical at times, I thought. We're just focusing ourselves as a group. We've got a good young group of players. There's a lot of new players coming to the squad this season, so we're just trying to work with those boys and make sure we get better week on week. Before we look at the rest of the action in National 2 North, let's head up to National 1. And we start with Cambridge, who were looking to bounce back from their defeat against title rivals Rams when they hosted Hull.
After their promotion ambitions were dented last time out, Cambridge were itching for an immediate response. Bottom of the table, Hull were the visitors, and the home side made a flying start with Ben Brownlee and Kwaku Aziedu dotting down. Hull were unable to respond as the Blood and Sand wrapped up the bonus point in the first period before a second try for Aziedu and a score from Kieran Frost made it 47-0. The away side did have something to smile about as Mike Adlard and Rhys Dean went over, but 3 further tries from Cambridge completed the ideal afternoon. Switching the focus towards the bottom of the table now, and Chinner were looking to return to winning ways against Bishop Stortford, but that seemed easier said than done when Chris Smith and Connor Lloyd went over for the away side. Reece Marshall and Kieran Goss hit back for Chinner, but despite Toby Tierney making it 22-19 to Stortford, Nick Easter's men took control of proceedings. Marshall's second and a close-range try from Mark Darlington was enough to clinch a big 5 points for Chinner, while Stortford were able to depart Kingsley Road with 2 bonus points. The prospect of moving closer to safety for relegation battlers Leeds Tykes may well have been their motivation when they arrived at Brickfields, but John Callard's side were blown away by Plymouth Albion, with the hosts scoring 3 tries inside half an hour through Ramaz Rakadze, Connor Eastgate and Dan Collier. Tom Williams did provide some respite for the Yorkshire outfit, but 5 second-half tries, including 2 for prop Harry Wilkinson, saw Albion rack up the half-century. Following what felt like a missed opportunity last weekend, Birmingham Moseley were targeting their first win of 2023, and Ollie Steadman, Sam McNulty and Sam Poynton all went over to make it 22-7 to the Midlands club. Jack Shields got Cinderford's second try of the afternoon on 53 minutes, but Moseley continued to put their foot on the accelerator as Anthony Agodo and Freddie Painter got in on the act. Will Hendy and Matt Lane made sure Cinderford left Billsley common with a try bonus, but these 5 points for Birmingham have created a nice cushion between themselves and the bottom 3. And we finish in the northeast, where Rams RFC new victory against Darlington Mowden Park would see them move to the summit of National 1. The title challengers flew out of the blocks, with Axel Kaling-Smith scoring a brace alongside tries from Tarek Hafar and Ollie Allen. Quick fire scores from Chris McTurk and Henry Hadfield meant DMP had a foothold in this contest, but Rams responded. Alex Sears and Connor Hayhow scored either side of half-time before Jack Rossiter wrapped up the victory for the third tier's new league leaders.
Congratulations to Rams. It was a thoroughly deserved win. They showed why they are top of the league. Very clinical. They took their chances well, especially that first half. I think they visited Mowden's at 22 4 times and came away with 4 tries. Something that we need to learn as a team. We battled all day. But unfortunately we didn't quite have the clinical nous to get over the line.
Despite a diluted fixture list in National 1, each and every result had something riding on it. As mentioned, Rams have taken pole position from Sale FC and sit 3 points clear at the top, with a game in hand to come against local rivals Chinner on Friday night. Cambridge are up to third following their win over Hull, while in the bottom half, Birmingham Moseley and Chinner move further away from danger, with League's Tykes now 8 points from safety.
Back over to National 2 North now, and after their promotion hopes suffered a dent last time out, Hull Ionians were looking to respond away at Tynedale.
The first half an hour in the northeast belonged to Hull Ionians, but Tyne winger Rory Cram did open the scoring for the hosts, despite a double from James Thompson, as well as tries from Jack Townend and Sam Wilson providing the ideal start for the visitors. The Eyes remained in control in the second half. Sam Pocklington and Lucas Powell ran in tries numbers 5 and 6, while Callum Burke did respond for Tyne. Hull Ionians were able to see out the win and halt a run of successive defeats. Heading into this weekend, promotion challengers Fylde knew their trip to Otley would be a tricky one. The Lancashire outfit had started this contest the better to lead 12-3, but Otley managed to turn the game in their favour. Both sides then swapped scores before a Joe Rowntree penalty 5 minutes from time proved to be enough for the home side to seal a 9th straight win, while Charlie Partington's late try made sure Fylde exited cross green with 2 points.
Yeah, delighted. We worked so hard the last few weeks and over the moon, especially, well, just for everyone connected with the club. I think we've won 9 on the bounce now and yeah, absolutely over the moon.
I'm bloody exhausted. What a great team Fylde is. Luckily we had great win, great weather, so can't complain.
So with Fylde falling to just their second defeat of the season, could title rivals Sedgley Park respond in the Steel City? It took until the second half for Scott Barrell's troops to spark into life as they built on a penalty try thanks to a score from Connor James. Mark Ireland pinged over a penalty for the hosts, but Valutane Bentley and Tom Ailes scored in quick succession to help the visitors on their way at Dormore. And they also remain as the only unbeaten side across National League Rugby. Huddersfield had one of the results in round 18 against Hull Ionians, but the informed side found themselves behind at the interval following scores from Alfie Kimpton and Elliot Fisher for hosts Sheffield. A second for Fisher 5 minutes from time made it 24-19 to Sheffield, but there was to be late drama at Abbeydale Park as Bradley's converted second snatched a 5th victory in a row for Gareth Lewis's side. Wharfdale were narrowly edged out by Tyndale last week, and they fell behind early on against Rotherham Titans thanks to this score from Lloyd Hayes. But the Greens responded with flanker Joe Fawcett building on a string of Tom Davison penalties. Lucas Sableman Blue added to Rotherham's tally to lead 15-13, but a brace from scrum half Henry McNaby made sure Dale stayed in command. The away side were able to see out just their first win on the road since the opening month of the campaign. 40 tries were scored across National 2 North to begin February, with certain results having a significant impact on both ends of the table. Fylde's defeat to Otley means Sedgley Park reclaim top spot, and they have a 1-point lead with a game in hand to come. Hull Ionians and Otley stay in 3rd and 4th respectively. Down at the bottom, Harrogate's bonus point success means they are just 8 points adrift of Preston Grasshoppers, with their all-important game in hand taking place against Wharfdale this coming weekend.
Over to National 2 East, and while England and Scotland were preparing to do battle at Twickenham, 5 miles down the road, Barnes faced Old Albanian.
We start in London, where Barnes played Old Albanian in an 11-try epic. Alex March scored 2 of his 3 tries within 25 minutes to give the hosts early hope. But after half-time, OAs turned the screws on the promotion candidates as Elliot McFun ran in the first of 4 tries for the visitors in the second period. John Kenwood put the game to bed, but Barnes scored a vital try with minutes to spare to ensure they collected 2 bonus points on their own patch. Over to the east, where Bury St Edmunds were busy dispatching Guernsey Raiders. After a slow start, Jacob Ford's men stretched out to a 21-7 lead after Hugo Culverhouse had opened the scoring for the visitors. However, Bury ploughed on through the second half, and Charlie Reid was instrumental to the points tally, scoring 20 points, including a try of his own, as the Wolfpack secured their 3rd win from their last 4 matches. It was another tough afternoon for bottom-of-the-table Westcliff, as title hopefuls Dorking ran riot in this National 2 East encounter, scoring a whopping 108 points at the big field. The home side ran in 16 tries, including a magnificent 7 for Toby McRae, who added to the 5 he scored last week, as well as his recent Player of the Week award. This bonus point win keeps Dorking nipping at the heels of Blackheath right at the top of the league, with the Red and Whites visiting fellow promotion challengers Worthing Raiders this coming weekend. This was a vital contest at the bottom of the table, with both teams fighting to move away from trouble. North Walsham took a while to warm their engines, allowing Rochford to have the early lead, but the Norfolk outfit roared into life as the first half came to a close, scoring a hat-trick of tries before the whistle. Rochford battled back to make it 32-26, but Matt Hodgson and George Luce made it safe for North Walsham, who remain in control of their own destiny. A trip to Worthing was never going to be a stroll in the park for league leaders Blackheath, and the hosts were spectacular in the first half, particularly Matthew McLean, who scored the opening try on his 300th appearance for the Raiders. However, ill discipline cost Worthing, as they conceded 20 penalties throughout the match, as well as a penalty try and a yellow card after Curtis Barnes took out Matt Armstrong without the ball. It allowed Blackheath to turn the screw, and Luke Jeanett ensured the table toppers would secure the bonus point in Sussex. Once again, the best has been saved until last, and Derby Day at the Slade was one for the ages. This one went to the wire despite Canterbury leading 19-5 at the break through Cameron Murray, Nathan Morris and James Stevens. There were 5 yellows shown throughout this match, including 2 for each team in the second half. This only added to the tantalising narrative. One Tunbridge thought was finished when Thomas White slotted a penalty in the 79th minute. However, Frank Reynolds would have the last laugh, as a yellow for White gave the kicker his hero moment and a 2-point win for Canterbury. There was no shortage of drama in National 2 East, with bucket loads of tries scored across the board and some standout scorelines to boot. Blackheath's 5-pointer keeps them at the summit, while Dorking capitalised on Worthing and Barnes' misfortune to move into the silver medal position. At the bottom, North Walsham's victory over rivals Rochford Hundred means they're now just 3 points from safety with a game in hand. Canterbury's Derby Day win keeps them 10 points clear of the drop zone.
And we finish in National 2 West, where Exeter University were hosting an old Redcliffian side who were looking to move away from the relegation scrap.
Exeter had not lost a game since the turn of the new year, but the visit of Old Redcliffians would stop that winning run of 4 games. After a quiet first half, which University had the better of thanks to 2 Sam Walker penalties, the visitors scored 3 second-half tries to secure a win. Tom Ford, Jonathan Cook and Sam Taylor all crossed the whitewash, whilst Ed Volley's late score was simply a consolation for the home side. It's probably fair to say that Newport's narrow win over Dings Crusaders was the result of the weekend. Taking on the third-place side in National 2 West, Newport had to weather a second-half storm to better Dings. With a 17 points to 7 lead at the break, the Shropshire side conceded tries to Matthew Smith and Thomas Knight to begin the second period, although scores for Daniel Bruff and Charlie Gamble saw the club home. In this West Country tussle, it was Hornets who ended the fixture as victors. Barnstaple did start the brighter, with a Dylan Gosling try handing the hosts an early lead, although by the break, Hornets had recovered to take a narrow lead. The second half followed largely the same script, the home side levelling things briefly before tries for Henry Glidden and Jamie Ellsworth secured wins for Hornets. Once again, Leicester Lions proved that they were the side to beat with this dominant win over East Midlands rivals Hinckley. The visitors would score their sole try through Frankie Slateholm with just 16 minutes on the clock, before enduring a 3-try onslaught which gave Leicester a healthy lead moving into the break. It was a lead that would only continue to grow as the game wore on, with Zachary Bean's double in the closing stages tying a bow on a good day at the office for Lions. So there are all the results. Old Redcliffians beat Exeter University 30 points to 20 in Devon. Newport edged out Dings Crusaders 32 points to 26. Hornets went to Barnstaple and picked up a 24 points to 12 win. And Leicester Lions beat Hinckley 47 points to 7 in the East Midlands. There are no significant changes to the National 2 West table after these 4 games. Leicester Lions are now 14 points ahead of their closest rivals Clifton, while Dings Crusaders failed to make significant ground on their noisy neighbours with their shock loss. At the foot of the table, Hornets have leapt above of Old Redcliffians to sit in 9th, while Newport have moved ahead of Barnstaple.
Well, that's it for Running Lane, where Harrogate have given their survival chances a real lift going into next weekend. See you next time.